somebody had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio. Next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! Kane beat the on the air.
You doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, split boy. That ain't my problem.
When people hear the name Big Daddy Kane, the image that pops up isn't usually that of some gangster or street enforcer. He's remembered as a legend, the smooth-talking lyricist who reshaped the sound of hip-hop and left a mark that still echoes today. But just like how MC Hammer was once written off as just a flashy dancer until folks found out he was actually respected in the streets, Kane had a side that would catch anyone off guard. A tougher, more dangerous edge you definitely didn't want to test. Plenty of people in the industry can back that up. Even Mike Tyson once told a wild story about a time someone got slick with Kane. Not even an hour later, while that same guy was live on the radio, Kane pulled up, walked right in, and gave him a serious wake-up call. Tyson said people could literally hear the chaos go down through the live broadcast, and you can imagine the shock of everyone tuning in. Kane never really confirmed if it was him or not, but that wasn't the only thing that showed his fearless side.
I heard Big Daddy Kane actually had hands, man.
He did. Big Daddy Kane was known to beat people up. He was like, he just was hot-tempered. He definitely was known to put his hands on.
On August 26, 2023, at London's O2 Forum in Kentish Town, Kane hit the stage as the headliner for a massive Hip Hop 50 celebration, a spot he earned after decades of shaping the game. The crowd went wild, and for good reason. They weren't just watching a performer, they were witnessing a living piece of hip-hop history. The event wasn't just about Big Daddy Kane. It also featured names like LG Onyx, Mazda Ace, and a few other heavy hitters who came to represent. Everything was rolling smooth until things took an unexpected turn during Kane's set. Out of nowhere, a masked rapper walked onto the stage and faced the crowd like he owned it. That mysterious figure turned out to be Comanche Sly, a member of the legendary UK group Hijack.
Somebody had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio. Next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! And Kane beat that on the air.
Big Daddy Kane talked about it.
We heard him on the guy's radio.
Mike, when was that?
In the 80s.
In the 80s?
At first, Kane didn't trip. He kept the show going and let Sly stand there. But after a while, he stopped the music cold and looked straight at him, saying, "You're doing too much, Playboy. I need the stage. You're doing too much." The tension got thick fast. Kane gave Sly a little shove, nothing major, but Sly stood his ground and fired back with something that clearly hit a nerve. Kane shot back, "That ain't no problem." And that's when things almost exploded. In seconds, Kane started taking off his jacket, ready to throw hands right there on stage. The crowd went silent. Nobody expected to see a legend ready to scrap in the middle of a celebration. Luckily, Kane's crew jumped in quick and shut the whole thing down before it got out of control. The very next day, August 27th, Hijack came online with their version of what happened. They were furious. They blasted the DJs and promoters, accusing them of playing favorites with the American artists and pushing the UK performers to the side. In their words, as per usual, the DJs and promoters of the show licked the Americans and disrespected UK side of the culture by not letting us perform.
Where's Tupac and Biggie Smalls?
Hijack didn't hold back at all. They went online and posted, "You were always unprofessional clowns," blasting the whole situation on Facebook. They explained that they walked onto Kane's set because they were fed up. And apparently, Kane and the crew didn't take it too well. Their post went even further, calling out the DJs and promoters directly, saying they were the real reason UK hip-hop never got the shine it deserved. They accused them of only spinning UK tracks in the last 5 minutes of their radio shows just to save face. Things were definitely getting heated online. But even with all that noise, Kane stayed calm and carried himself like a pro. In a later interview, he made it clear that his energy wasn't about beef. It was about unity. He said his focus was on building bridges between generations of artists, not tearing anyone down. "We had our shot, we did our thing, and we're still around with a fan base that supports our catalog," Kane explained. "We're not trying to threaten the younger generation or replace them." That kind of humility coming from a legend speaks volumes. Kane even said he'd love to sit down with artists like Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, or even Migos just to build and connect.
So what the heck?
I think that's what's important. When the past generation can talk with the future generation and give them game, Bati said. That's a real OG mindset right there. But beyond all that positivity, there's always been quiet chatter about Kane's rumored connections back in the day, including alleged ties to Brian Glaze Gibbs, one of New York's most feared kingpins known for his history in the streets. Whether that's truth or just old street talk, it adds another mysterious layer to Kane's legacy, the part of him most people don't expect. Still, behind that street-hardened image, Kane's heart has always been about giving back, sharing wisdom, and lifting others up. No matter how big he got, he never forgot to reach out to those climbing the same path he once did. Big Daddy Kane wasn't just a rap icon. He was known for putting people on and opening doors for the next wave of talent. He had an eye for greatness before the world even caught on. One of his biggest early moves was spotting potential in a young Jay-Z and bringing him along on tour, giving him exposure before his career even took off. That's real mentorship. Ice-T once spoke about that connection, saying, "I actually met Jay-Z with Kane. Kane brought Jay-Z over to my house."
You doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, Split Wood. That ain't my problem. That ain't my problem.
That's history right there. Kane later cleared the air on what Jay's role really was. He explained, he wasn't a hype man. He basically made cameo appearances on stage. When I would leave to change outfits, I'd bring out Jay-Z and Positive K to freestyle until I came back. Imagine being in the crowd, watching a young Jay-Z spit bars before he became a global superstar. That's legendary energy. Jay-Z later appeared on Kane's track show Improve from his 1994 album Daddy's Home, even showing up in the music video. And Kane didn't stop there. He also gave early shine to Tupac and a then unknown Biggie Smalls, letting both of them freestyle during his set at Madison Square Garden. Those moments showed just how connected and respected Kane really was. His influence stretched across every corner of hip-hop. But before he reached that larger-than-life status, Kane had to grind like everyone else. Born on September 10th, 1968, in Brooklyn, New York, he came up surrounded by rhythm, rhyme, and raw ambition. During high school, he met Mr. C, who would later become his DJ and one of the key players in Kane's rise to the top. From there, history started to unfold. One rhyme, one stage, and one legend at a time. Back in 1984, Kane crossed paths with the legendary Biz Markie, and from that moment on, the two became tight. Their friendship wasn't just about hanging out, they were building something special in hip-hop. Kane even co-wrote some of Biz Markie's most famous rhymes, helping to shape that playful, witty style that fans love so much. Both of them would soon become key members of the Juice Crew, a legendary Queens-based collective led by the iconic producer Marley Marl. That crew was stacked with talent and straight up changed the sound of the late 80s. By 1987, Kane's grind started paying off. He signed to Cold Chillin' Records, the powerhouse label run by Tyrone Williams, Marley Marl's manager, along with Lynn Fichtelberg. That same year, Kane dropped his debut single, and it didn't take long before it became a serious underground hit. The name Big Daddy Kane itself was inspired by pop culture. Part Kane, the wandering warrior from the Kung Fu TV series played by David Carradine, and part Big Daddy, a smooth-talking character played by Vincent Price in the 1963 film Beach Party. Talk about a name with flavor and flair. Kane quickly built a rep for his rapid-fire delivery and smooth stage presence, spitting complex rhymes over fast beats like it was nothing, even while dealing with asthma. That's pure skill. His style helped define the look and feel of late 80s and early 90s hip-hop, from high-top fades and sharp velour suits to those unforgettable four-finger rings shining under the stage lights. Even his name became an acronym that said it all. King Asiatic, nobody's equal. In the summer of 1988, he dropped his debut album, Long Live the Kane. Packed with classics like Ain't No Half Steppin', the record blew up and cemented his place in rap history. Just a year later, he came back even harder with what would become his biggest album yet, proving he wasn't just a rapper, he was a full-blown icon in the making. Kane kept his momentum going strong with his second album, It's a Big Daddy Thing, a true masterpiece packed with smooth, 70s-inspired, sample-heavy beats. The record gave fans timeless tracks like Smooth Operator and the Teddy Riley-produced I Get the Job Done, which even broke into the R&B Top 40. Kane wasn't just rapping anymore. He was crossing genres and proving his sound had real range. Every track oozed confidence, style, and that unstoppable Brooklyn flair that made him stand out from the rest. He also dropped one of his most iconic verses ever on Marley Marl's legendary posse cut The Symphony. Sharing the mic with fellow Juice Crew greats, Craig G, Master Ace, and Cool G Rap, Kane went bar for bar and made it clear why he deserved to be ranked among hip-hop's elite.
It's my man, JC.
That verse alone sealed his reputation as one of the sharpest lyricists to ever touch a mic. Then, in 1990, Big Daddy Kane took his artistry to another level. He was featured on Public Enemy's groundbreaking album, Fear of a Black Planet, appearing on the powerful, socially charged track Burn, Hollywood Burn alongside Chuck D and Ice Cube. On that track, Kane didn't hold back one bit. He used his verse to call out Hollywood's racist portrayals of African Americans, especially during the Jim Crow era. He went straight for the truth, spitting lines that hit deep, referencing how black women were too often reduced to servile, caricature-like roles and delivering the cutting bar. In black women in this profession, as for playing a lawyer out of the question, for what they play, Aunt Jemima's the perfect term. That was Kane using his platform to spark real conversations about representation. And what's wild is, decades later, those words still hit hard. In 2020, the company behind the Aunt Jemima brand finally removed her image from their packaging. Nearly 30 years after Kane called it out, it proved just how ahead of his time he was. A lyricist with not only skill, but a sharp awareness of the world around him.
He used to be rocking the jewelry, rocking the suits, had the hairstyle, had the fading, you know what I mean, had the 3 cuts in his eyes, jewelry, everything. Like I said, his flow was rocking, man.
That same unstoppable energy Kane brought to hip-hop flowed right into his other collaborations. In 1991, he teamed up with R&B legend Patti LaBelle for her album Burnin', dropping a slick, confident verse on the single Feels Like Another One. The mix of Kane's sharp lyricism with Patti's powerhouse vocals created pure magic, a seamless blend of rap and soul that showed just how fearless Kane was when it came to crossing genres. Fans loved it, and critics praised the way the two worlds collided so effortlessly. Kane even appeared on LaBelle's Live in New York video release, adding even more shine to his growing crossover appeal. By then, he wasn't just a rap star, he was proving he could stand tall in any musical space. But Kane's influence didn't stop there. He also made major moves in the film world. He recorded Enough Respect, a high-energy anthem for the Juice soundtrack, the 1992 cult classic directed by Ernest Dickerson and starring Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur. The song exploded with intensity, Kane firing off rapid rhymes that perfectly matched the movie's raw, street-charged vibe. And 1991 wasn't just a year of collabs, it was a year of recognition. Kane's lyrical brilliance was honored on one of the biggest stages when he took home the Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. The win came from his feature on the all-star Quincy Jones track Back on the Block from the album of the same name. The song was a powerful celebration of black music and culture, blending rap, jazz, and R&B in one historic moment. Sharing that spotlight with other heavyweights of the time, Kane showed exactly why his name carried weight across every corner of the industry. Through the 90s, Big Daddy Kane kept proving he was a lyrical beast, but he wasn't afraid to switch things up and take creative risks. Always known for pushing boundaries, Kane began blending more R&B flavors into his sound, showing a smoother, more melodic side that surprised a lot of fans. It was a bold move. Some people loved the evolution, while others missed that raw, hard-hitting energy from his early records. But one thing was clear, Kane wasn't chasing trends, he was expanding his artistry. Around that time, his connection to the 5% Nation, a religious and philosophical movement, started to shine more in his lyrics. That shift earned him respect from those who appreciated his depth, but also sparked confusion and criticism from listeners who weren't familiar with or didn't fully understand the ideology. Still, Kane stayed authentic, never watering down his message to please anyone. Albums like Looks Like a Job for earned strong critical acclaim, reminding everyone that Kane's pen was still sharp as ever, even if the commercial spotlight had dimmed a bit from his It's a Big Daddy Thing peak. But Kane didn't disappear. Not for a second. He kept performing, hitting stages across the world, keeping that legendary presence alive and strong. Outside of music, Kane also started stepping into the acting world. In 1993, he made his film debut in Posse, a bold, all-black Western directed by Mario Van Peebles, where he held his own in a strong supporting role. That same year, he popped up again in Robert Townsend's superhero comedy, The Meteor Man. Kane was showing that his talent went way beyond the mic. But of course, the 90s weren't without controversy. Kane made headlines when he posed for Playgirl magazine and later appeared in Madonna's eye-popping coffee table book, Sex, which featured several celebrities in provocative photo shoots. Those moments shocked some fans, but they also proved Kane's confidence and charisma knew no limits. And in 1995, he linked up with MC Hammer, Tupac Shakur, and Danny Boy for the track Too Late, Playa. A rare, star-studded collab that showed Kane could still hang with the best in any era. By the mid to late 90s, the streets were buzzing with wild rumors. Talk that Big Daddy Kane might be joining forces with Death Row East, the rumored New York branch of Suge Knight's notorious Death Row Records. It would have been a huge move, especially at a time when Death Row was at its peak power. But despite all the hype, that deal never came together. Still, Kane didn't let that slow him down one bit. In 1997, he reconnected with Frankie Cutlass and several of his Juice Crew brothers for the track The Cypher Part 3, a nostalgic throwback that paid homage to hip-hop's golden era. It was a reminder that Kane's roots ran deep and that his mic skills were still razor-sharp. Then in 1998, he dropped what would become his final solo studio album so far, Veterans Day. The project didn't hit the same commercial highs as his earlier classics, and reviews were mixed. But even so, it was filled with the confidence and lyrical craftsmanship only a true veteran could deliver. Even after that, Kane never stepped away from the culture. Through the 2000s and beyond, he kept showing up. Guest verses, live performances, collaborations, proving that his influence wasn't just locked in the past. Every time he touched a mic, fans knew they were witnessing one of hip-hop's original architects still doing what he loved. By the early 2000s, Kane's legacy was crystal clear. He wasn't just a legend from an era, he was a legend for all eras. In 2000, he lit up Tony Touch's The Peacemaker mixtape, spitting alongside other lyrical giants like Kool G Rap and KRS-One. The chemistry was unreal. Three titans from hip-hop's foundation trading bars like it was nothing. During this stretch, Kane fully embraced collaboration, linking up with artists across generations, from golden era veterans to underground trailblazers. He worked with a tribe called Quest, Jurassic 5, Little Brother, and even DJ Babu from the legendary Beat Junkies. It didn't matter if it was mainstream, conscious, or underground. If it was real hip-hop, Kane was there for it. That's the mark of an artist who truly lives and breathes the craft. Even as the years rolled on, Big Daddy Kane showed no signs of slowing down. He dropped two powerful singles that proved his pen was still razor-sharp and his voice still carried that same commanding presence. One track, The Man, the Icon, was produced by none other than The Alchemist, who gave it that raw, underground grit Kane thrived on. The other, Any Type of Way, had DJ Premier behind the boards, a dream combo that brought together two masters of their craft. On Any Type of Way, Kane took listeners deep into the mindset of post-9/11 New York, blending personal reflection with social commentary that hit hard. His bars were sharp and fearless, tackling the political tension of the time. One of his most cutting lines, Giuliani got New York looking like it's Amistad, referenced the infamous slave ship, painting a haunting picture of how oppression and control still lingered in the city under the mayor's rule. It was Kane doing what he did best, speaking truth through skill, rhythm, and bold perspective. Then, in 2003, Kane surprised everyone again by stepping into a whole new lane. He collaborated with the British trip-hop band Morcheeba on their single What's Your Name, mixing smooth rap with dreamy electronic vibes, proving once more that he could adapt to any sound without losing his identity. The track showed just how fearless Kane was when it came to experimenting with genres and pushing musical boundaries. By 2005, the world finally gave Kane his flowers. VH1 Hip Hop Honors paid tribute to him, recognizing his massive impact on the culture. The event featured a lineup of modern heavyweights, T.I., Common, and Black Thought, each performing some of Kane's most iconic hits and paying respect to the man who helped pave the way for them. But the highlight of the night came when Kane himself stormed the stage to perform Warm It Up, Kane, joined by his original dancers Scoob and Scrap Lover. The energy was electric, pure hip-hop theater, reminding everyone what real stage presence looked like. And even after that legendary night, Kane kept grinding. In 2006, he linked up with the Stanton Warriors, a UK-based production duo, for their track Get Wild Off This from Stanton Sessions. Decades in, and Kane was still dropping verses, still commanding respect, and still showing the world that true greatness never fades. That same unstoppable momentum carried right into 2006, when Big Daddy Kane joined one of the most unforgettable lineups in hip-hop history. During Hot 97's legendary Summer Jam, he shared the stage with Wu-Tang Clan, Rakim, Q-Tip, and his longtime collaborator, Busta Rhymes. The moment was pure magic, a powerful tribute to New York hip-hop and the icons who built its foundation. Busta made sure Kane was front and center for that tribute, and it made perfect sense. Kane wasn't just a part of the city's story, he was one of the architects who helped shape it. As time moved forward, Kane kept evolving instead of staying stuck in nostalgia. In 2013, he took another creative leap and formed a live band called Last Supper, teaming up with R&B vocalist Showtime and the New York-based collective Lifted Crew. Together, they dropped an album titled Back to the Future on March 26, 2013. Blending hip-hop, funk, and soul into a fresh, retro-inspired sound that showed Kane still had the hunger to experiment and grow. It was another reminder that real artists never stop creating. Then, in June 2020, Kane stepped back into the spotlight with a powerful purpose. He released the single Enough, a heartfelt and urgent response to the ongoing issues of police brutality and racial injustice. The track hit deep, channeling pain, pride, and power all at once, showing that Kane's voice still mattered in every generation. Even after decades in the game, he was still using his platform to stand for truth and unity. Big Daddy Kane remains one of the most respected, influential, and technically gifted MCs to ever bless a mic. His name sits among the all-time greats, not just for his precise flow and unmatched delivery, but for the depth of his artistry and the everlasting impact he's left on hip-hop culture. Kane wasn't just part of the golden age. He defined it, and his legacy continues to echo through every verse, beat, and bar that came after him. When it comes to hip-hop royalty, Big Daddy Kane's name always lands near the very top. Over the years, countless publications and experts have paid homage to his legacy, and the numbers don't lie. MTV ranked him at number 7 on their prestigious list of the greatest MCs of all time, but that's just the start. In Kool Moe Dee's landmark book, There's a God on the Mic, the true 50 greatest MCs, Kane sits even higher, taking the number 4 spot, a testament to just how deep his impact runs in the culture. Similarly, About.com named him the 3rd greatest MC on their list of top 50 MCs of our time, spotlighting his unmatched lyrical agility and massive influence on future generations. And in 2012, The Source, often called the Bible of hip-hop, ranked him at number 8 on their list of top 50 lyricists of all time. No matter who you asked, one thing was clear. Kane's skills were legendary and his pen was untouchable. Even AllMusic, one of the most respected names in music journalism, praised Kane for his incredible versatility and long-lasting relevance, saying his finest work ranks among the best hip-hop ever created. They applauded his silk-drenched persona, the smooth, confident playboy energy that inspired a generation of rappers to embrace charisma and swagger as part of their artistry. They also described him as an enormously talented battle MC with near peerless technique and razor-clean dexterity, perfectly capturing why his presence on the mic was so magnetic. Kane had that rare blend of verbal precision, rhythmic complexity, and pure stage dominance that made him stand out even during one of the most competitive eras in hip-hop history. Critics and fans alike agree that his first 2 albums, Long Live the King, 1988, and It's a Big Daddy Thing, 1989, remain undisputed hip-hop classics. Those records didn't just define a sound, they defined an era. From the beats to the fashion to the stage swagger, Kane helped shape what hip-hop looked, sounded, and felt like at its peak. Those classic albums show just how versatile Big Daddy Kane really was. He could flip from rapid-fire, braggadocious rhymes and gritty street tales to smooth love joints and hyped-up party anthems without missing a beat. Rolling Stone even pointed out that Kane's catalog has earned steady critical respect throughout the decades. Proof that his music didn't just make noise in the moment, it stood the test of time. In The Ultimate Guide to Hip-Hop and R&B, authors Cameron and Devin Lazar wrote that Kane is widely seen as one of the greatest lyricists of his era. And what's wild is, even today, his name still gets dropped by newer artists who grew up studying his flow. That alone shows how deeply his influence has soaked into modern hip-hop. Music journalist Peter Shapiro took it even further, calling Kane perhaps the most complete MC ever, recognizing not just his lyrical skill, but his unmatched stage presence, magnetic charisma, and creative innovation. That's rare company. Very few rappers can claim mastery in every part of the game like Kane did. And his reach doesn't stop with the old school heads either. Even Eminem, one of the most technically skilled and successful rappers of all time, shouted Kane out by name on Yellow Brick Road from his Encore album, a direct nod from one legend to another. Everywhere you look, whether it's hip-hop historians, industry veterans, or today's chart-topping stars, Big Daddy Kane's name gets spoken with respect. He's not just a pioneer, he's a perennial giant whose influence will echo for generations. If you love diving into Kane's legendary story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a drop. Drop a comment with your favorite Kane moment and share this with your friends who live and breathe hip-hop. Let's keep the legacy alive.